Today, we delve into the executive report on rheumatoid arthritis, or raw therapeutics and diagnostics from 2025 to 2030. This report offers a comprehensive analysis of the market size, key drivers, and a detailed competitive assessment of the top 5 global innovators. Qilinz also examine their product portfolios and conduct a deep dive into innovative products set to shape the industry. Finally, Qilinz evaluate each company's product due diligence and forecast the economic value of their raw assets over the next 5 years. The global raw therapeutics market is poised for growth from approximately $25 billion in 2023 to around $36.4 billion by 2030, expanding at a compound annual growth rate, or CAGR, of nearly 6%. This expansion is driven by rising disease prevalence, an expanding biologic and biosimilar pipeline, and technological innovations in diagnostics. Despite remaining smaller in size, the diagnostics sector mirrors the therapeutics market trajectory fueled by early detection needs and advances in personalized medicine. Several technology push and market pull drivers are propelling this growth. On the technology side, biologics and targeted therapies like novel IL-6 inhibitors, IL-23 inhibitors, JAK inhibitors, and TNF pathway inhibitors have dramatically advanced disease control, driving demand. The entry of biosimilars is reducing therapy costs, increasing treatment accessibility, and fueling market growth. Digital diagnostics leveraging biomarker profiling and imaging analytics are improving early and accurate diagnosis and disease monitoring. On the market side, aging global populations, increased raw awareness, and healthcare infrastructure improvements are boosting early diagnosis and long-term treatment. As rheumatology care and biologics become more accessible in emerging economies, the demand for raw therapies is rising. Moreover, a patient-centric shift toward real-world efficacy, quality of life improvements, and favorable safety profiles is influencing therapeutic choices. Now let's examine the top 5 global innovators in raw therapeutics and diagnostics. AbbVie, the current market leader, maintains a 3-pronged immunology portfolio, including Humira, Rinvoq, and Xeljanz. Following Humira's patent expiry in 2023, biosimilars have eroded its market share, particularly in the US and EU. AbbVie is now focused on growing Rinvoq, a selective JAK1 inhibitor approved for moderate to severe RA. With 2023 sales of approximately $4 billion, Rinvoq's uptake is robust, exceeding expectations. In the US, where biosimilars are excluded, the drug faces generic competition in some regions. However, its patent protection extends into the 2030s, positioning it for continued growth. Complementing Rinvoq is Xeljanz, a monoclonal antibody initially approved for psoriasis, which AbbVie is actively expanding into autoimmune indications, including Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. By 2030, AbbVie projects total raw immunology sales of $25 billion, up from $14 billion in 2023, leveraging its commercial scale, established sales force, and extensive clinical trial pipeline. AbbVie is well positioned to retain its dominant position in the immunology space. Pfizer co-markets Enbrel with Amgen and leads to tafasitamab or Xeljanz development. Enbrel, a TNF inhibitor, has consistently ranked among the top-selling raw biologics with strong historical performance. U.S. patent protection extended to 2028 through a patent term extension, limiting biosimilar competition until 2030. However, tafasitamab's uptake has been subdued due to post-marketing safety concerns, particularly cardiovascular risk. With the safety profile, Pfizer faces headwinds in adopting Xeljanz, a JAK inhibitor. Pfizer aims to diversify its raw portfolio, focusing on next-gen JAKs with safer profiles, such as baricitinib, targeting additional autoimmune indications like hidradenitis suppurativa and Crohn's disease. Amgen, which co-owns Enbrel in the US with Pfizer, is strategically investing in biosimilars. Amgen's portfolio includes a range of biosimilars for various indications. While Enbrel sales have plateaued, the drug remains one of the top-selling raw biologics. Amgen aims to offset revenue erosion from Enbrel's eventual loss of exclusivity in 2028 through its biosimilar pipeline. Moreover, Amgen is developing new biosimilars to Remicade and other immunology drugs, aiming to expand its market share. Through pricing leverage and biosimilar penetration, Amgen targets 2028 revenues of $8 billion, up from $6 billion in 2023. Johnson & Johnson maintains a diversified raw portfolio featuring intravenous and subcutaneous biologics like Remicade and Simponi. Remicade, an intravenous TNF inhibitor, faces increased market erosion due to biosimilars since its patent expiry in 2019. Conversely, Simponi, a once-monthly subcutaneous TNF inhibitor, has shown steady uptake, benefiting from a more convenient administration profile. Johnson & Johnson leverages physician loyalty to Remicade, promoting Simponi as its preferred next-generation TNF inhibitor. Looking ahead, Johnson & Johnson is focused on enhancing Simponi's global uptake, diversifying its raw portfolio through pipeline enhancements and maximizing synergies in immunology. Additionally, the company aims to minimize losses from Remicade biosimilars. Roche, expanding beyond oncology, has established a presence in raw therapeutics with Actemra, an IL-6 receptor antagonist widely used in raw and systemic inflammation. Initially approved for raw in 2010, Actemra has shown consistent growth, further boosted by its use in COVID-19 treatment. Despite patent protection extending to 2025 in some regions, biosimilars are beginning to emerge. To counter this, Roche is building a biosimilar defense and expansion strategy for immunology, complemented by a robust clinical trial pipeline. Roche's pipeline includes studies on Actemra's expanded use in giant cell arteritis, as well as trials of olokizumab, an IL-17, a monoclonal antibody for psoriatic arthritis and ankylosing spondylitis. Furthermore, Roche is exploring Actemra's potential in lupus, broadening its reach beyond raw within the autoimmune space. In conclusion, the raw therapeutics and diagnostics market is dynamic, driven by biologic innovation, biosimilar expansion, and digital health integration. Key players are adopting aggressive lifecycle and geographic strategies to sustain growth despite exclusivity challenges. Early adopters of precision medicine and next-gen immunomodulators are poised for leadership through 2030. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it informative, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content.